Footage from the aftermath poses more questions than answers.
It's clear to us that this happened somewhere else.
I want to hit my head against the wall. Now we're back to square one again.
Tonight, 2 young men are in critical condition after a double shooting.
To solve the case, Lieutenant Joe Kenda reaches out to an old friend for help.
It gets no better than this. You've got a hot tip, and it's an ongoing situation.
As investigators inch closer to the truth, a sinister plot emerges.
He believes it was the same vehicle he saw on television.
Now I think we're going to get somewhere. All choices come with consequences. Some are unintended. And some of those choices put you in harm's way. There's one thing that never changes. Murder. A life has been taken. Their stories are now my stories. I never know where a case is going to lead, but I'll never stop until it's solved. Somebody has to look out for the victim. If you kill, I will find you.
It's Saturday night, and Officer Dennis Jewell is patrolling the east side of the city.
That particular day, I did have a civilian ride along with me. That ride-along person happened to be my sister-in-law, Debbie, who wanted to know what my job entailed.
Dispatch to car 44. We have reports of an intoxicated individual requiring medical assistance.
That night, we were out driving down the road, and we got a call.
Car 44, 10-4.
Drunk person?
Yeah, this could get interesting.
Car 44, be advised, this is now a shooting. They are reporting shots fired.
And while en route, I was notified via dispatch that it looked like this was coming in as a shooting.
Did they just say a shooting?
Yeah, hold on.
This was really, really exciting because I had never been somewhere where someone had gotten shot before.
Listen to me, Debbie. No matter what happens, I need to stay in the car.
And I said I will definitely stay in the car. I do not want to die tonight.
An ambulance is beating them there. And so they see one victim on the ground being treated, and then they realize that there is another person inside with paramedics attending to him also.
Stay with me. Come on. Hey, buddy. Stay with me. Come on.
Man, he looks bad.
Can I get an escort to the hospital?
You got it. Follow me.
Based on what I was seeing, there was a good chance that this individual wasn't going to survive this.
But I was hoping he wasn't going to die. No one deserves that.
Oh, hey, Joe. Will you come in here and fasten me up?
Sure. The kind of occupations that my wife and I had, she's a nurse, I'm a policeman, resulted in little or no social engagements. And at this particular moment, Kathy's pleased at the idea of going out.
You look great.
Thank you. You don't look so bad yourself. We really need to get going. Mike and Sandy are already there.
You know where the keys are?
Yeah, they're over there on the...
And of course the phone rang. And we are going out, but not together because I'm going to work.
All right, I'll be right there. Bye. Sorry, Kath. Rain check?
Well, you can keep a rain check, but I'm not missing out on my night.
Give Mike and Sandy my best.
I will. Hey, be careful.
This crime scene is a convenience store parking lot attached to a gas station on Galley Road.
That convenience store was an absolutely notorious area of town. It's such high traffic for problems.
I arrive at the crime scene, patrol officers are already present.
Evening, Lieutenant.
So what do we got?
2 male victims, multiple gunshot wounds. 24-year-old Lance Strickland and 20-year-old Walter Wright. Strickland was transported to St. Francis and Wright to Memorial Hospital.
It is a common practice in medical transport to not bring multiple trauma patients into a hospital. They generally only have one trauma room and one trauma team available.
Are there any witnesses?
Store clerk, one of the victims was found inside, being held for question.
Okay, the store sounds like a good place to start.
Detective Ritz is inside.
Thanks.
Our purpose at this point is to determine what we can from the physical evidence. In the store, where one of the victims collapsed at the front counter when asking for help from the clerk.
Hey, Brian.
Hey, Lieutenant. Appreciate you getting here so quick.
You know whose blood this is?
We do. Lance Strickland. I think he probably went down right here. Probably brings the display down trying to stay upright. But he wasn't shot inside.
There's blood smearing on the floor and blood pooling on the floor. You have blood moving in one direction, which is inside the building. Lance Strickland walked into the store and collapsed. The evidence supports that.
If you follow the blood trail, it actually goes out to the parked car outside.
The guy was probably looking for help when he collapsed.
Yeah, that's right. I've got something else for you, though. Follow me?
Now, the vehicle's the entire crime scene that we have. Initially, what we see is the vehicles pulled into the parking lot, kind of parked haphazardly.
Do you know whose vehicle this is?
Yes, sir. Red tags. The car comes back registered to one of your victims, Lance Strickland.
Look at the glass on the seat. There's blood on the steering wheel.
Yeah, there's blood back here, too.
So both victims were shot in the vehicle.
The driver's door window has been shattered by gunfire, thought to be .380 caliber. It's possible from looking at this that the shooter was outside the car and shooting into the car.
Tiny shell casings?
No, sir, I didn't. The other officers found these 2 wallets on the floor.
Oh, yeah?
While there was identification in the wallets, there was no money or any other items. This could have been very simple, a robbery that went wrong, where maybe our victims fought back and got shot, or it could be somebody was actually trying to eliminate these 2 individuals.
From the position of the wallets on the floor and the position of the blood, if Lance is the driver and Walter is the rear seat passenger. So if there's 2 individuals in this car, why is one of them in the back seat? There's probably a third person we are currently missing.
Let's see if the clerk can carry this up for us.
Where's Martin? He's right over there.
Thanks. George?
Yes.
Lieutenant Canada, this is Detective Ritz. I know it's been a difficult night for you, so we'll try to make this quick.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I've seen a lot of sketchy stuff, but I ain't never seen anything like that before.
What do you mean?
He reports he was working there alone. He had some inventory issues and he was in the back.
What the hell?
When he came back toward his counter position, he sees a young man staggering in the front door.
We get a lot of drunks and they cause problems outside. So I just went ahead and called 911. Yeah, I'm at the market on Valley. I got a drunk guy staggering. Hold on, he's trying to get in. Hey, man, you can't be in here. Hold on, he's trying to come into the store right now.
Oh, please.
Hey, you need to leave, man. I think he's been shot. He's bleeding. Are you okay? Hold on. What the hell?
He looks out the front window and he sees a second individual who had collapsed out of the car and was trying to crawl toward the store.
Did you see anybody else? Or anybody with a gun or anything like that?
No, it was just his friend laying on the ground. There was so much blood, though.
But you didn't hear any gunshots?
No, I didn't. I had the radio going pretty loud in the back.
He was very open and forthwith with us, so it's like we have no reason to doubt him.
Well, thanks for your help. Do you have any working security cameras in the store?
Actually, yeah. I got one that has a view of the whole area. I could get you a tape if you'd like.
Yeah, that'd be great.
We are thrilled about surveillance cameras because it might contain suspect information. We don't know. We're very anxious to find out.
So the call came in at 7:15. He was going on the 15 minutes prior to that.
We're hoping to see the actual shooting. We're hoping to see something that will lead us to the identity of the person who shot these two individuals.
We see a vacant lot in the first few frames of the video. And then we see our victim vehicle come driving in at a high rate of speed, slamming to a stop. We see Lance get out of the driver's side, bleeding profusely.
Looks like we have another crime scene to find.
Looks like.
Viewing that tape establishes that this crime did not occur in this parking lot. It happened somewhere else. I want to hit my head against the wall because what we thought might be really useful turns out to be useless. Now we're back to square one again. We're investigating the double shooting of Lance Strickland and Walter Wright. Both are in critical condition. And we have a surveillance tape we thought might show who's responsible for this crime, but it clearly showed that this did not occur in front of the store. We need to find the original crime scene, which we have not yet discovered.
Let's play the tape one more time.
I'll see if I can slow it down. Might help.
Whenever you watch a surveillance tape, you're going to go back and try to concentrate on little particular parts of it.
Oh, you pause right there?
Yeah.
So that's our man Lance in the driver's seat getting out.
Yeah. He's definitely got blood on his lower back, too.
No wonder the store clerk thought he was drunk.
Yep.
The gunshot wound in the lower body is extremely painful, so you would certainly consider someone staggering as a result of the pain.
Can we pause it on the car?
Yeah, let me try another angle first.
Well, looking at the video, there's nobody in the front passenger seat. That could tell us that somebody else was in the car, possibly a shooter. Could there have been others?
So what do you say we split up?
You want to go to Memorial? I'll go to St. Francis.
Sounds good. I'll be over there afterwards.
We're hopeful that the victims can answer these questions, but we're also concerned they may not be able to ever answer anything.
Hey, how you doing? I'm looking for a gunshot wound victim came in last night. Lance Strickland.
Yeah, I helped admit him last night. The doctor said he's got pretty extensive internal damages. He's in surgery now.
They said that Lance has a gunshot wound to the lower left back. It penetrated and severed part of his colon and opened his lower intestine.
Did you see anything before he went to surgery?
He was in and out of consciousness. He couldn't even remember where he was.
He's in some level of shock from the injury, so he went from coherent speech to incoherent speech.
Has any family showed up?
No, he wanted us to get a hold of his friend Randy Robbins, but we don't have his information.
All right, we'll check on that. And, we'll come check on Lance later.
Okay.
Thanks for your help.
Yeah.
Kenda heads to St. Francis in hopes that Walter Wright is in better shape to talk.
Hey, Brian. Any luck?
Well, Walter was in surgery when I got here, but his doctors seem pretty hopeful.
He has two separate gunshot wounds, one in the shoulder and one under the right armpit. Both bullets actually missed any vital organs.
That's good news.
Yeah. The responding officer is waiting to talk to us, but right before you arrived, Walter's girlfriend showed up.
Oh, yeah? What'd you have to say?
I haven't talked to her yet. I was waiting on you. She's in the hallway just down here.
All right. Miss Logan?
Officers, please tell me you're here about Walter. The doctors won't let me see him.
I said Walter is in surgery, but one of the treating doctors is pretty optimistic that this kid's going to be fine.
Thank you. That's such good news. I haven't stopped shaking since I heard.
I know it's difficult, but we need your help. What can you tell us about Walter?
Well, he looks out for me. He's a hard worker. He's always picking up extra hours.
And what does he do?
He's a roofer.
She says that Walter works for a local roofing company, and that's where he met Lance Strickland.
And it expanded where they're spending a lot of time after hours together. All she knew is that Lance and Walter had planned to hang out all day.
When I didn't hear from Walter, I thought something terrible had happened. It's just not like him.
Can you think of anyone in their lives that might want to harm them?
No. Absolutely not. Everyone likes them. They're friends with everybody.
Well, thank you for your time. We'll notify you if we need anything.
Thank you.
What do you think? Think we can talk this Walter guy?
While they wait for Walter to get out of surgery, they hope the responding officer, Dennis Jewell, might be able to give them some insight.
Officer Jewell, it's good to see you. Thanks for sticking around.
Oh, glad to help.
So Walter was able to give you a statement?
Yes, sir. I had him talking right up until they took him back for surgery.
And when I initially got into the emergency room, I'm trying to get in to get information from him because I don't know if this is the last thing this guy's ever going to say.
Walter explained that he and Lance had been out driving around that evening, trying to figure out what they were going to do.
And they decided to give a friend of a friend a ride.
He described him as a young black male, short hair, tall, slender build.
He was able to tell me that at some point, the person that was riding with them told him to stop the car. The person that pulled a gun said, "Give me all your money." And at that point, started shooting.
And after he shoots them both, he gets out of the car and runs off into the night. So now we have a story.
Did you say anything else?
I know he's in a lot of pain, but it felt to me like he was...
The physical evidence says the shots were fired from outside the car, not inside the car. So Walter either is mistaken or he's lying about what happened in this event.
Did you say what happened by chance?
Not entirely, but I might have gotten a partial street name.
While I was obtaining information, he was able to give me a partial street sign spelling of VAB. VAB. Well, thank you. Yep.
I'm not confident that Walter's memory is either reliable or truthful, but a lead is a lead, so we will take what we can get for the moment. When you consider the facts and the condition of these victims, it's fairly obvious that this crime scene is probably not very far away. If it was, that'd already be dead.
Let me know if there's anything else I can help with.
Great, thank you. Hey. Alright, so the convenience store is right here. There's no way they could have gotten very far.
No. We make the assumption, upon reviewing a city map, that it has to be very close to that convenience store.
Here we go. VAB, Babcock Road. That's gotta be it.
There we go. About 2.5 blocks from the convenience store.
Candace sends a small team of officers to canvass Babcock Road.
From what we know, our suspect apparently had to shoot him here and then leave. We want to know if he left anything behind that might identify him.
We were looking for physical evidence, automotive glass, maybe blood, maybe expanded casings from a handgun. More importantly, it can possibly produce a witness to the event.
Anything?
No, nothing yet. The few people we did talk to were too far out of range to have seen anything.
Yeah, no surprises there. Thanks.
There are very few houses on this street, and there's very little possibility for an eyewitness.
Hey, detectives, I think I've got something.
Looks like it came from 380.
Yeah, I got broken glass over here, too.
Looks like we found our crime scene.
Even though we found where the shooting took place, we're not getting anywhere with crime scene evidence, and we're not getting anywhere with witnesses because we can't produce it. I decided to use a tried and true tactic to gain new information.
I got an idea. 4-1 to dispatch.
Go 4-1.
I need to pass me through to KKTV. We need to get Ann Irvin to the market on Galley right away.
Tonight, 2 young men are in critical condition after a double shooting, and the police are looking to the public for help.
I mean, it gets no better than this. You've got a hot tip, it's going on right now, and it comes from the best source you can get, which is the police. And it's an ongoing situation.
The victims then drove themselves right here to this store looking for help. The police have released photos of the victim's vehicle and are looking for anyone with information relating to the shooting to call CSPD immediately. I'm Ann Irvin, KKTV News. Okay, cut. Great, thanks guys. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Good luck.
Appreciate it.
The next day, our little news stunt actually paid off.
It's Kevin.
My name is John Waters.
Yes?
John Waters says that he thinks the police should talk to his nephew because his nephew was with Lance and Walter on the evening of the shooting.
Oh, really?
I think he's involved in this.
All right, thanks for calling. We'll be there shortly.
Does his nephew carry a gun, or is he yet someone else we don't know about? Investigating the double shooting of Lance Strickland, 24 years of age, and Walter Wright, 20 years of age. The local news does a story on the shooting, and we get one informant who calls in and says he knows both of these victims.
Mr. Waters? Come on in.
We go see Mr. John Waters, the person who called in, and it turns out that he is a very pleasant man, middle-aged guy.
We really appreciate the call.
Well, I was just watching the news, and when I saw Lance's car with that busted window, it got me kind of spooked.
Is Lance a friend of yours?
Yeah, he and Walter are my roofing buddies. We work together downtown. They were just here the other day.
Mr. Waters reports that Lance and Walter stopped by and had a few beers with him and his nephew, who he identifies as Ken Eatman.
All I know is that Lance, Walter, and Ken left together and rode off somewhere.
We suspected that there was a third person in the car. Mr. Waters says there absolutely was, and he was Ken Eatman.
So we're kind of wondering, is Ken our suspect? Is he our shooter?
Do you know where we can find Ken?
Yeah, he's back there in his room. I told him I was calling you guys. Hey, Ken, get out here for a minute.
Perfect. Go wake up your nephew and tell him you want to talk to him.
Are Lance and Walt okay?
Ken, why don't you have a seat?
Ken looks like he's sweating bullets. He has the look of someone who's got something to hide. And we like that.
Would you excuse us for a moment?
Oh, of course.
Thank you. We need you to tell us everything that happened yesterday.
Okay, yesterday. It's not really too much to tell. We were out back and we had a couple beers.
Anybody want another round?
I'll take one.
Gotcha.
Hey, Ken. You think you can help us squirt some weed? Some weed? Yeah, I should be able to help you out. How much? I don't know, man. Just enough to get us all getting high. All right, I got you.
Ken then says he agreed to help them out.
I had them drop me off at the Senator Mall just to make a phone call to one of my friends.
He would then make a deal, and then the guys would come back and get him. They would go over to some other location where they would complete the deal and be done.
Problem is, I couldn't get a hold of my dealer. So I'm sitting there waiting for them to pick me back up, and they never showed.
So where'd you go after that?
I waited till about 7. After that, I just said forget it, and I just walked home. Now that's a long walk. I was pissed at them until I found out what happened.
Ken is lying through his teeth, which is normal. He's trying to distance himself from the event by saying he never made anything happen. Well, let's leave him be for a minute, and let's go see what else we can learn from someone else.
Sounds like a little if you ask me. Just makes you wonder who else they ran into that night. Exactly.
What if Walter and Lance find some 18-year-old kid somewhere along the way who tells them he can provide them with drugs, and he directs them to this out-of-the-way place where he robs and shoots both of them? Well, that could work.
We really don't know a whole lot about our victims, whether they have these contacts, so we've got to find somebody who knows something about the victims that can tell us something.
We know at least one individual associated with Lance by the name of Randy Robbins. We determine where he lives and try to make contact. He's not home, but his wife Laura.
I were planning on heading to the hospital for a visit after he finishes his shift.
Well, that's why we're here. You see, Lance listed Randy as his emergency contact. Any idea why he might do that?
Oh yeah, we all go way back.
Her husband met Lance in California, and they were good enough friends that he asked if he could come stay with them. He's been living with them for several months. He'd been very well behaved. He found a job. He was a good employee, and she liked him.
Listen, Laura, I hate to ask you this, but do you know if Lance was involved in any sort of drugs?
Lance? No. Lance doesn't mess with drugs. But his friend Walter is a different story.
What do you mean?
Laura Robbins says that she doesn't particularly like Walter and thinks that he may dabble in drugs. And she didn't like it. And she didn't like it when Lance brought him around where they lived.
Have you ever seen him using?
No, but he knows how I feel about that stuff. I just have a suspicion.
Well, that's interesting. So we have one novice in Lance and maybe one that isn't in Walter. What we don't yet know with any certainty, what happened on Babcock and who's responsible for it.
Go back and talk to more of the neighbors?
I'm not sure. At this rate, we'll be at it forever.
Detectives, sorry to interrupt. We got a guy who just walked in, says he might have seen your suspects right before the shooting.
Did you say suspects? I've seen more than one?
Yes, sir.
Do we have two shooters? We have a guy that says he knows. Now I think we're going to get somewhere. We're investigating the attempted murder of Lance and Walter, and we now have a witness come forward who says he has seen the two suspects involved in this case.
Robert, I hear you may have some information for us.
I sure do. Nothing gets past me. You see, I lived here a long time, and I absolutely have no tolerance for this criminality.
So what's this?
It's my neighborhood watch notice. I'm the president.
And he further says he's so concerned about the activities of some of the people who live in this neighborhood that he has formed an unofficial neighborhood watch group.
Nosy neighbors are a mixed blessing. They can be a pain in the neck because they're nosy, but they can be really helpful to investigators because of that.
Tell you what, why don't you start by taking us through your notes from the other night?
Of course. It was 7 p.m. on the nose. See, I have it written down right here, so I know. And I heard someone outside my driveway.
So he took a flashlight out to check and make sure his truck was okay.
And when he went to look outside, he observed a black male going over towards a vehicle that was parked across the street. And this black male got in the vehicle.
I seen the same car on the news story. You know, the one about the shooting later on that night?
Which would be the car driven by the victim, Lance.
Now, I'm sitting outside of my driveway. All of a sudden, I saw something that really just didn't sit right with me.
Can I see your notes on that?
Oh, of course. Look right down there on that line right there.
He sees the vehicle start to leave, and then he sees something that bothers him. He sees another vehicle come out of the side road and start to follow the first vehicle. It was kind of an older aged Cadillac, and saw the driver as being a very stocky black male with a baseball cap.
The stocky black male with a baseball hat is a new player. Hadn't heard anything about him.
Both cars drove away at 7:05. And the news said the call came around 7:15. Now, come on.
Wow, you really were paying attention.
The president. It's a common procedure when you do a drug rip. You got one guy with your victims, and the Cadillac is his getaway car. He is part of this crime. So what Robert says makes perfect sense to me. So he put out that information, an all points bulletin, and now it's time to talk to those victims and get to the bottom of this.
Remarkably, both Lance Strickland and Walter Wright are expected to make full recoveries.
Hey, Walter. Glad to see you doing well.
Hey, how's Lance doing? Is he gonna be okay?
Yeah, he's gonna make it.
Oh, man.
to tell somebody, and Walter seemed very relieved by that.
Walter explains that he and Lance go to John's place because Lance really looks up to John as a mentor.
When we got there, his nephew Ken was there, and I'd only met him a handful of times, but I knew he liked to party.
And it gives Walter an idea. He and Lance like to occasionally smoke marijuana. They asked Ken if he had a hookup, and Ken agreed to help him.
According to Walter, they drove over to Sunny Circle, but Ken insisted he go in to see his dealer alone.
He was so adamant about us not knowing where his friend lived, so we just kind of sat there.
20 minutes turned into 30 minutes. 30 minutes turned into 40 minutes. And Ken didn't come back.
What's taking him so long?
Maybe we should get going.
No, let's give him a few more minutes.
It takes less than 5 minutes when it comes to arranging the purchase of drugs. For this to be this extended period of time, something's very wrong.
I don't know, man. I don't have a good feeling about this.
Hey, look, here he is now.
What's up?
Hey, we've been sitting here for 45 minutes.
Man, it ain't been no 45 minutes. My man is on his way. Give him 1 second.
There he is.
Here you go, right here.
What's up? What's up, bro?
Moments later, a young male jumps in the right front passenger seat of Lance's car and introduces himself as Rock.
Can you tell us what this rock guy looks like?
He's a tall, skinny black kid with short hair. He's all business, very serious.
So it seems that Mr. Rock is our Mr. X.
Rock explains he needs them to drive to another location so they can get the stuff.
Is that car following us?
Oh, no, you good, man. Don't worry about it.
No, I'm serious. Look, it's been behind us for the last few miles.
Rock directed them for just a few minutes, and then Lance notices that he thinks there's a car following them.
Hey, man, quit bugging. I said it's cool. Relax.
Make that left. Walter says I turned on a Babcock, a very dark, vacant kind of area, and he's getting really nervous. And he asks, "Where are you taking us?"
At that point, things just became a blur to him.
Rock guy, he took out a gun. I handed him my wallet, and then everything went white. Next thing I knew is I woke up here.
Do you have any memory of where Ken went after the gun went off?
He set us up to get jacked.
Walter says that he assumes that Ken probably left with Rock at the time this happened. Well, that's entirely possible, and probably likely given the circumstances.
You did good, Walter. We're gonna let you rest.
Hey, if you see Lance, tell him I say hey.
Will do.
We now know that Ken is at this crime scene and is a participant in this robbery. We're going to use that to put pressure on Ken so he gives us Rock. So we go back to John Waters' house looking for Ken.
Please open up!
Oh, hey.
Hands up, now.
Hey, I was just calling you guys. I can't live with this no more. I can't. I'll talk.
Well, Ken, we were just about to call you because you're not going to live with us anymore either. We've been investigating the attempted murder of Walter Wright and Lance Strickland. We have been spinning our wheels trying to unwind this web of lies about what happened.
I'll talk.
We placed Ken Eaton under arrest, and he says he's willing to give up the rest of the story.
Have a seat. Okay.
You read those rights?
Yes, sir.
I can with these rights in mind. You willing to talk to us?
Yeah, man. I want to talk.
We want the truth this time. No more lies.
I was telling the truth about the whole going to go get weed thing, though. That's all we was doing.
Ken couldn't find anybody that had any stock and supply, but finally somebody suggested that he call this kid known on the street as Rock.
Yeah, look, I got 2 dudes here trying to get some weed. Can you help me out?
Yeah. How much money do they have?
At least about 100. And they just got paid. In cash.
Maybe we can take it from him then.
Okay. I didn't think that he was serious, though. You gotta understand.
We believe that Lance, Walter, and Ken all drove over to Sunny Circle.
Ken got out of the car and made contact with Rock at his house.
All right, man, so how you want to do this?
My homie Bolo got this car we can use.
Yeah, call him right quick. Make sure we good.
Rock called one of his friends who goes by the street name of Bolo, a muscular guy with an old beat-up Cadillac, and asked him to come help commit a robbery.
It just took Bolo forever to get there.
Once Bolo arrived, Rock and Ken kind of set their plan in motion.
All right, I'll follow you too. Once you get the money, we'll bounce in my car. Sounds like a plan. Let's do it.
Whoa, whoa. What are you doing? You about to use that?
Nah, man. This is for show. Come on. Come on, man. Why you looking like that? Come on. Let's do it.
At first, the plan seemed to be working, but all of a sudden, Lance became concerned.
Is that car following us?
Nah, you good, man. Don't worry about it.
No, I'm serious. Look, it's been behind us for the last few miles.
Hey, man, quit bugging. I said it's cool. Relax.
And Rock then made the decision that it's now or never.
Yo, make that left. Ken, I don't know about this. Yo, Ken, set your boy up, man. Set him up. Look, I know that guy. Pull over there. Do you want the weed or not, man?
Rock opened the passenger door as if he was going to get out and go speak to his friend, but then pulled a gun and leaned back inside the car.
Give me all your money, man. Give me your money. Okay, just take it easy, please. Give me your money. You want the guys? Don't shoot. Hurry up.
Walter and Lance both pulled out their wallets and pleaded with him to just take the money and run.
Let's give him the money. Just take it.
Please don't shoot. Shut up, boy. All right, you got the money. You got what you wanted. Now go. Shut up, bitch.
Instead of running, Rock decided to start shooting. The first 2 bullets hit Walter, one in the shoulder and one under his right armpit. Lance tried to get out of the car, and as he tried to exit the car, was shot in the lower left back. Ken and Rock got into Bolo's car, and all 3 took off.
Yeah, you want to play with me? Go, man, go.
Gets back in the car and closes the door. Rock took 2 more shots, shattering the driver's door glass window and lodging in the passenger door and in the seat. He's obviously a horrible shot, and ultimately that saved Walter and Lance's lives. Then Lance drove he and his friend to the nearby convenience store to get help before he passed out from the blood loss.
Where'd you guys go?
We went down to Pueblo, and then he just vanished out of nowhere. Me and Rock went back to the springs in the morning.
All right, Ken. So where's the gun?
I don't know exactly where he tossed it, but I can help you find Rock.
We get an arrest warrant listing the suspect as also known as Rock, as his true name isn't known.
Police, open up!
Yes? Is everything all right?
Man, we're looking for someone by the name of Rock. We have a search warrant.
Well, that's my grandson. He's in his room.
Please step aside.
She says his birth name is Humphrey Williams, and he's asleep in his room.
On your feet now! What? Now! Put your hands up. Walk toward me. murders of Lance Strickland and Walter Wright.
Yo, I want a lawyer.
Cuff him.
I want a lawyer now.
Turn.
Change money back. When we're looking with an AKA warrant, we want to make sure we're talking about the same person. So we bring Ken to the scene.
Here they come. Yeah, that's him. You positive?
As we bring Humphrey Williams out of that house in handcuffs.
Yeah, absolutely, man. All right, good deal.
Ken positively identifies the individual we have in hand as Rock, as the person who shot both the victims in this case. With Humphrey Williams now in custody, the search is out for Polo.
Man, I got nothing on me.
Police eventually spot him in his Cadillac and pull him over, and he is arrested. We learn his real name is Ronald Williams. So we wanted to speak to Lance to get a statement from him. We have one from Walter. We have one from Ken.
So how you feeling? I'm getting through it. I'm looking forward to walking again and getting out of here.
Yeah, I bet.
Can you give us your version of what happened that night?
Sure.
Lance confirmed what Walter said about the shooting, without a doubt. We have the people responsible under arrest.
We're just glad you made it out alive.
It's a pleasant experience to have a case where people survive. I wasn't accustomed to that.
Humphrey Williams pleads guilty to first-degree and second-degree assault. He is sentenced to 20 years.
Ken Eatman pleads guilty to conspiracy to commit aggravated robbery, and he's sent to the penitentiary for 4 years.
Ronald Williams, aka Bolo, was charged with criminal attempt murder. He received a 5-year probation sentence. The gun used in the shooting was never recovered.
It's certainly not common for someone to have a near-death experience and live to tell the tale. They were both fortunate to survive the worst choice they'd made in their lives. Hopefully that's enough to convince them to never do it again.